Honorable members, I welcome you to this afternoon's sitting.
On Tuesday, 21st March 2023, Parliament passed the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023 that will see anyone engaging in acts of homosexuality facing 20 years in jail and a death penalty for anyone engaging in aggravated homosexuality. The bill now awaits presidential assent into law.
The bill seeks to address the gaps in the provisions of other laws in Uganda, for example, the Penal Code Act Cap 120, which has no comprehensive provision catering for homosexuality and majorly focuses on unnatural offenses under Section 145, and lacks provisions for penalizing the procurement, promoting, disseminating literature and other pornographic materials concerning the offenses of homosexuality.
The bill is misconceived. The explanatory memorandum further indicates that the Penal Code Act Cap 120 has no comprehensive provisions catering for anti-homosexuality, since according to the bill, the Penal Code Act focuses on unnatural offenses under Section 145 and lacks provisions for penalizing the procurement, promotion, dissemination of literature and other pornographic materials concerning the offense of homosexuality. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not a factual statement, since we all know that homosexuality is an offense proscribed in Section 140 of the Penal Code Act.
There's a need for a legislation to enhance offenses relating to homosexuality and clear provisions for charging, investigating, prosecuting, convicting, and sentencing of offenders.
The penal code that we have came in 1923, so it's about 100 years old. Law grows with society. I can tell you that what was not then, it can now be. And what is not now, it will one time be. The penal code as it is it clearly protecting the values that our forefathers put in 1923?
I want us to understand that the penal code provides for those penalties in the context of people who are already in marriage. That's why the unnatural offenses came in the context of a man and a woman who are already within the family settings, should they try anything else. We have legislated against thieves. We have legislated against murderers. We have legislated against all sorts of people. We should not fear.
There is nowhere you find that in the penal code we are prohibiting promotion of homosexuality, recruitment of our children. We are not stopping same-sex in the Penal Code Act. They defeated us that time in court. This time, you are not going to defeat us. We are defeating you in the house, we shall defeat you in court, and we shall defeat you in heaven.
The parliament that we are in today, it's a parliament that has stood firm to protect our ethical values, our cultures, our morals, and we will do just that. Hook or crook, no one should fear.
We are alive to the mind and the spirit of the framers of the Constitution. We recognize that the Constitution contains non-derogable rights, and in this process, the House has striven to recognize those rights. However, the norms and aspirations of people of Uganda will always remain supreme. Honorable members, I put a question that the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
On Wednesday, 22nd March 2023, the House deferred debate on the National Local Content Bill 2022, pending harmonization between the mover of the bill, Honorable Patrick Oshave, the Attorney General, and the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
The learned Attorney General was present, and as the principal legal advisor of government, we thought that he would lead us through when we move to committee stage. But he has been summoned yet by another high authority for an important meeting.
I would be grudging a settle for an adjournment of the debate, just to make sure the private member is not frustrated, but to bring to the center the areas over which the Land Attorney General had probably had issues and to allow the member to have the bill moved.
This is a very, very important bill. When you look at our pattern states, all of them, they have the local content bill. And according to the report, when it comes to the point of harmonization, we shall be having nothing.
This bill has a lot of legislation. They have mentioned a number of acts from Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, PVD, and others. It will give us room, as members of parliament now, to go and read deeper, so that when the Attorney General comes in and the committee chairman, the move of the bill, we move in tandem.
We need a harmonization between the private member, the Attorney General, and the committee. We are going to have this debate on this report on Tuesday.
In the sitting, the Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives in charge of industry, Honorable David Bahati, said that government will make a statement on the steps being taken to mitigate possible spillover effects of the demonstrations in Kenya.
There's too much deployment in Kenya that our people are not even crossing to even get water. My prayer, Madam Speaker, is that the leaders for East Africa should talk so that the region is calm. Because the major principle for the East African Federation is stability, peace, which builds a major objectives for the East African cooperation of free movement of people and goods.
That is a very serious crisis, that Ugandans are not allowed to enter with their goods because of the strike that is taking place in Kenya.
It is not only goods, even trucks from the other side, the fuel trucks from the other side of Kenya cannot move. It is now 3 days down the road, they have been packed, so they cannot cross over, meaning that the challenge that we had last year of fuel crisis may arise again, Madam Speaker.
We know you have depleted our reserves, and now we have a crisis, one of our major trading partners. For how many months can you sustain the economy in case Kenya went into a crisis?
I want to request that we make a statement to this House tomorrow about what is happening on our borders.
During the sitting, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, attributed the delay to create the Uganda Communications Tribunal to the recent cabinet decision on rationalization of agencies.
We have raised severally in our alternatives here the question of the minister failing to appoint a usage tribunal. And as such, the ministry, not the minister, is holding many media houses at ransom, and they have no recourse to this tribunal that is in the act.
Work was undertaken by my ministry, but we are discussing it in the context of rationalization. The executive arm of government is undertaking a rationalization exercise where agencies and departments are being reviewed, and therefore we couldn't proceed to establish a tribunal. We are fitting it into that debate. So when the debate comes here, then we shall update you.
We need a tribunal.
Yes, we need.
Please go and work on the issue of tribunal. This business of saying we are going on to rationalization, yes. How sure are you that we are going to rationalize? And will it stop the operation? We want a tribunal in UCC. We cannot do ad hoc kind of operation.
On Thursday, 23rd March 2023, legislators commemorated the first anniversary of the passing of the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, the former Speaker of the 11th Parliament.
As we commemorate this first anniversary, let us strive to emulate the principles he stood for. He always encouraged us to read and prepare for the House, and he urged respect among ourselves, and he had a belief which he espoused in whatever he was doing, that there is no disagreement too big not to be resolved as long as we listen to each other. He always emphasized that listening, the moment you give listening a chance, you'll always find solutions, and you'll always find a middle ground.
He always said that there are only two important days in your life: the day you are born and the day you discover why you are born. So he lived a very purposeful life. He spoke so much about a people-centered parliament. He spoke about restoring public confidence in this institution. But he also spoke so hard and passionate about an authoritative Hansard.
The late Jacob Oulanyah was a very good debater. And he also did a lot of research.
He was the patron and the founder member of the Parliamentary Forum on Population, Food Security and Development in the 7th Parliament. It is through this forum that we managed to engage government with a program of supporting members of parliament with the seeds to the voters. I want to appeal to the Right Honourable Prime Minister and government that in memory of the late Right Honourable Jacob Oulanyah, let's revive this project.
Something which I learned from him, that he worked for the unity of this house. Even our colleagues who were on the other side, he accommodated them, he treated them as one team. So it's something that we should all learn from the late Right Honourable Speaker Jacob Oulanyah.
Indeed, he was a true statesman. He was a man who was full of inspiration. He was a man who was willing to nurture some of us who are new MPs. And he was a man who was ready to listen to all of us. He was a man who would crack jokes.
It was very easy to distinct a leader who was no populist but cared about the demands and the well-being of Ugandans in this country. He charged us with the responsibility of instilling hope in the young generation. And I don't think that that is something that we can ever overlook for the young population.
I adjourned the House to Tuesday at 2 p.m.